HOA's fake cops tried to bulldoze our tree. Clueless Karen didn't know my wife runs Naval security. Picture an HOA tyrant so ruthless she'd fine a tree for standing too tall. I'm Ethan Blackwell, ex-Marine, and my wife Amanda's a naval commander who'd scare off a tank. We bought our Texas dream home for our son Tyler, its 100-year-old oak promising a childhood of tree houses, not terror. But Victoria Hamilton, Oak Ridge Estate's Karen-in-Chief, wants that oak gone, her smile like a vulture eyeing a car, her fines hit like a blitzkrieg hiding a scheme bigger than our backyard. This isn't just about grass length. It's a battle for our home, our kids' future, and justice against a suburban dictator. Stick around. This HOA war is gonna explode like a Lone Star showdown. Leave a comment below to let us know where you are watching from, and if you like fascinating stories like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button because tomorrow we have another incredible story and there are many surprises waiting for you in the next parts. Amanda and I spent a year dodging duds to find our forever home after 15 years of military moves. Bases from Okinawa to Norfolk, where cardboard boxes were our decor. I'd slung rifles as a Marine for 12 years, now I sling blueprints as an engineer. Amanda, a lieutenant colonel, runs security at the naval base, scaring off threats with a single glare. When we toured that Oak Ridge Colonial, its sprawling yard and ancient oak, big enough to shade half of Texas, sealed the deal. Tyler, our 10-year-old, deserved roots. Tire swings, forts, a real childhood, not another barracks bunk. The neighborhood's polished lawns and cookie-cutter mailboxes screamed suburban bliss, but that perfection was a red flag we missed. We signed the HOA agreement faster than you can say bureaucratic trap, too starry-eyed to read the fine print. Victoria showed up day 3, her gift basket stuffed with coupons and a rule book thicker than a tank manual. "Welcome to Oak Ridge," she purred, her voice sweeter than iced tea but colder than a northern. "Mitt Oak's mighty imposing. Most folks here prefer a tidier look." My gut twisted like I'd heard a bad order. "The oak stays," I said, locking eyes. Her "we'll see" was a warning shot, and I'm thinking, Karen, you just stepped on a landmine. The HOA's assault hit like a sniper's bullet. Day 6, a letter lands. Our grass is 0.25 inches too long. $50.00 fine, like they measured it with a NASA ruler. I'd mowed 2 days ago, so this was pure hogwash. Then, garbage bins visible? 4 minutes past pickup. Another $50.00. Next, Tyler's basketball hoop. Tucked by the garage is a streetlight at $50.00 more. By week 2, our mailbox is 3/8 of an inch too tall because apparently Karen's got a ruler fetish. I'm steaming. This is straight up lunacy. Amanda, hunched over HOA docs like she's decoding enemy intel, spots the game. "It's not about grass. It's dominance," she says, her intelligence training kicking into overdrive. Vague, aesthetic clauses let Victoria twist anything into a violation. "She's targeting us," Amanda mutters, scribbling in a notebook labeled Battle Plan. I'm picturing Victoria as a suburban dictator, her clipboard a scepter, fining us into submission. We've stared down insurgents, but this Karen's playing a dirtier game, and Tyler's treehouse dreams are caught in her crosshairs. The neighborhood barbecue was our first glimpse of Victoria's iron grip. Folks were friendly, grilling burgers, swapping stories, until she strutted in, her pantsuit sharper than a bayonet. Daniel Foster, a law professor 2 doors down, leaned in with a cold beer and a warning. "Victoria's been queen since her colonel husband kicked the bucket. She runs this HOA like her personal fiefdom." Neighbors clammed up when she passed, her shark smile scanning for rule breakers. She held court by the grill, tossing us looks like we'd parked a junker on her lawn. Near the end, she clinked her glass, voice dripping honey. "Let's help the Blackwells get their yard up to standard." It's quite the fixer-upper. The jab landed like a dagger in public, silence choking the air. My blood boiled, but Amanda's hand on my arm was a general's order. "Stand down." She's already plotting, eyes like a hawk. Daniel later spilled that Victoria's targeted others, hinting our oak's more than a landscaping issue. I'm thinking, this tree's our Alamo, and we ain't surrendering. Victoria's fines are stacking up like poker chips, and I'm itching to march over and shove her rulebook where the sun don't shine, but Amanda's strategist brain keeps us cool. This isn't just about fines, it's our home, Tyler's future, that oak, I say, picturing his treehouse sketches. She nods, her notebook now a war map. We read every word of that covenant, find allies, and crack her game. Victoria thinks she's got us pinned, ruling her suburban empire with a tyrant's grin, but she's messing with the wrong crew. Amanda's gut says there's more to this than grass length. Why's that oak her obsession? Daniel's whispers about past victims scream bigger stakes. This fight's personal, and we're digging in like Marines in a foxhole. Stay tuned, because this Karen's about to meet her Waterloo. Got an HOA horror story? Drop it in the comments. Let's hear your worst Karen nightmare. Victoria Hamilton, Oak Ridge Estates Karen-in-Chief, thinks she can bury us under fines for our grass daring to grow a quarter-inch too tall. Like we're running a jungle, not a yard. I'm Ethan Blackwell, ex-Marine with my wife Amanda, a naval security commander who'd make a dictator sweat. Our 100-year-old oak, Tyler's treehouse dream, is Victoria's obsession, and her clipboard empire's coming for it. We're not just fighting for our home, we're exposing her web of deceit, and Amanda's intelligence skills are our secret weapon. This ain't about aesthetics, it's a power grab, and Victoria's irrational vendetta is digging her own grave. If you've ever caught an HOA in a lie, comment, Karen's busted, below. Will we crack her scheme before she bulldozes our oak? Buckle up. This Texas showdown's about to get sneakier than a coyote in a henhouse. Amanda's not letting Victoria's fines, now hitting us for Tyler's bike leaning too casually against the garage, turn our dream home into a nightmare. She's wiring up security cameras like we're guarding Fort Knox, and sure enough, we catch Walter Brooks, Victoria's enforcer, creeping by in his black SUV at 2 a.m., snapping photos like a wannabe spy. I'm itching to confront this rent-a-cop Rambo, so I stroll out one night, catching him mid-snap. "Finding violations, Walter?" I ask, grinning. He mumbles about standards, peeling out like he's dodging bullets. Daniel Foster, our law professor neighbor, drops a bomb. Walter was booted from the police for faking evidence. Victoria's perfect thug for her dirty work. Her arrogance is blinding. She's got Walter stalking us like we're criminals, not homeowners. Amanda's footage is our shield, and I'm thinking Karen's web's got holes and we're about to rip them open. Victoria's so obsessed, she's holding court at the clubhouse, ranting about our rebellious oak to anyone who'll listen, her voice shrill enough to crack glass. This ain't just harassment, it's a declaration of war. Victoria's self-destructive streak is glowing like a neon sign. She's not just fining us for unapproved porch flowers, $75.00 for marigolds. She's alienating neighbors with her tantrums. Nancy Sullivan, the HOA secretary, slips us a hushed apology at our door, whispering she did this to the Parkers over their oak. Her nervous glance says Victoria's unhinged, demanding Nancy forge violation logs to justify her crusade. Daniel connects us to Melissa Parker, who's still bitter from Victoria's attack. Over coffee, Melissa spills, Victoria's fines hit $1,500.00 a month, forcing them to sell cheap for a developer's rezoning, with Karen pocketing a fat consulting fee. Amanda's digging into HOA financials, spotting thousands in legal consultations, vanishing into thin air. Victoria's blood money, no doubt. Karen's so cocky, she's bragging at HOA coffee hours about cleaning up our lot, oblivious to the neighbors whispering behind her back. Her web's tightening, but she's too arrogant to see the trap we're setting. The oak's our ace, and we're about to play it. Eleanor Turner, the neighborhood's 80-year-old historian, invites me over, her home a museum of Oak Ridge's past. She pulls out 1,960 covenants, yellowed but ironclad, declaring heritage oaks like ours protected community treasures. Victoria's been ignoring this for years, her greed outweighing reason. Amanda's military contacts get us Pinnacle Development's financials, linking Victoria's fees to Councilman Gregory Matthews, a zoning puppet with a shady side hustle.
Karen's so irrational, she's emailing neighbors late-night screeds about our dangerous oak, claiming it'll crash through their roofs.
Pure fear-mongering that's backfiring as folks roll their eyes. Our oak's a fortress legally untouchable, but Victoria's doubling down. her spies circling closer. I'm thinking, she's not just a Karen. She's a ticking time bomb, and we've got the fuse. Tyler's sketches of his treehouse keep us grounded, but Victoria's next moves looming like a Texas twister. Victoria's web of deceit is fraying, and we're ready to pull the threads at the next HOA meeting, armed with Eleanor's covenants and Amanda's financial dirt. Karen, so self-destructive, she's burning bridges. Last week, she screamed at a neighbor for questioning our fines, her face redder than a chili pepper, alienating her own allies. Amanda's cameras catch Walter and Victoria trespassing in our yard at midnight, measuring our oak like it's evidence in a murder trial, disapproved. Their vengeance, if ultimately spared. Proof. Her plan B is coming. Something so reckless it'll make her fines look like parking tickets. We're not just fighting for Tyler's oak, we're dismantling a tyrant's empire, and Daniel's legal know-how's our ammo. Stay tuned, because this Karen's about to step into a trap bigger than Texas. What's the worst HOA trick you've seen? Drop it in the comments. Let's expose those Karens together. Victoria Hamilton's gone from fining our mailbox to spying on our oak like it's plotting a coup. I'm Ethan Blackwell, ex-Marine, and my wife Amanda's a naval security commander who'd make a tornado rethink its path. Her cameras caught Victoria's goon, Walter, sneaking around our Texas yard at midnight, but this Karen's plan B is crazier than a bull in a china shop. She's so arrogant, she thinks hiring fake cops to scare us will snap our 100-year-old oak like a twig. Little does she know Amanda's credentials are about to blow her house of cards sky high. This fight's for our home, our son Tyler's treehouse dreams, and every homeowner sick of HOA tyrants. Comment "Gotcha, Karen" below if you've caught a bully red hand. Will Victoria's scheme crash and burn? Saddle up, this Lone Star showdown's about to explode. I'm in Atlanta for a conference, leaving Amanda to hold the fort when Victoria's irrational brainwave hits. Around 8:30 p.m., our doorbell rings, and Amanda's camera shows two officers, Brendan and Scott, standing stiff as discount mannequins claiming an eviction order over our hazardous oak. Their badges look like dollar store props, and the paperwork's blurrier than a foggy bayou. Amanda's naval instincts scream fraud, so she stalls, all honey and steel. "Can I see that order again, gentlemen?" Upstairs, Tyler's voice trembles. "Mom, who's that?" And her heart clenches, but she keeps cool, like a general facing raw recruits. Victoria's so cocky, she's been taunting neighbors at the clubhouse, crowing, "The Blackwells will be gone by spring." Her fake cop stunt is pure desperation, banking on scaring just a military wife. I'm thinking, Karen, you've just poked a hornet's nest with a flamethrower. Amanda's had enough of Victoria's games. When Brendan's hand twitches toward his holster, pure intimidation, she whips out her naval security commander ID, voice sharp as a bayonet. "I'm Lieutenant Colonel Blackwell, and impersonating officers is a federal crime." The fake cops crumble faster than a bad sitcom, faces whiter than a Texas snowstorm. Scott blurts, "Walter hired us to scare you," while Brendan stammers about just taking oak photos. Amanda's recording every word, her phone a guillotine ready to drop. She texts Sheriff's Officer Tiffany Wells, who's there in minutes, sirens blaring. Victoria's self-destructive genius shines. She's been emailing Walter demands to make the Blackwells cave, oblivious to his paper trail. Her arrogance is her noose. She thought Amanda was a pushover, not a strategist who'd turn her scheme into handcuffs. Tyler's safe, but I'm racing home, stunned. Karen's gone full criminal. Tiffany's squad cars haul Brendan and Scott away, their confessions spilling like cheap whiskey. They're ex-security guards paid by Walter to flash fake badges and forged eviction papers, all to spook Amanda while I'm gone. Victoria's so irrational she's been screaming at HOA board members for questioning her emergency funds for this stunt, alienating even loyalists like Nancy Sullivan. Amanda calls her Naval superiors, and the incident's now a federal case. Impersonating cops to intimidate a military officer ain't just HOA nonsense. It's a national security red flag. I hit the gas from Atlanta, mind reeling at Victoria's leap from fines to felonies. Her house of cards is imploding, and Walter's like a rat in a trap, his shady cop past catching up. Karen's still strutting, unaware her empire's crumbling, but federal agents are circling and our oaks standing taller than ever. Victoria's desperation is her downfall, but she's too arrogant to quit. Amanda and I regroup, our dining room a war room of evidence. Covenants, financials, camera footage. We're set to bury Karen at the next HOA meeting, with Daniel's legal muscle and Tiffany's police backup. Victoria's so self-destructive, she's filed a legitimate court order to chop our oak, using the same fake arborist report we debunked, thinking she'll outsmart us legally. Her empire's cracking, but she's doubling down like a gambler on a losing streak. We're not just saving Tyler's treehouse dreams, we're dismantling a tyrant who thought she could bully veterans. Stay tuned, because this Karen's about to face a showdown bigger than a Texas Twister. How do you beat a bully? Drop your story in the comments. Let's share some justice. Victoria Hamilton's fake cops got handcuffed faster than a bad guy in a Western, but this Karen-in-chief thinks she can still bulldoze our oak like it's a weed? I'm Ethan Blackwell, ex-Marine, with Amanda, a naval commander who'd stare down a twister. Her takedown of Victoria's goons lit a fire under Oak Ridge Estates, and now we're storming the HOA meeting with evidence to torch Karen's castle of lies. From forged fines to developer cash, Victoria's scam is bigger than a Texas oil rig, and her arrogance is her funeral. She's so irrational, she's forging court orders while neighbors whisper mutiny. Comment, "Make Karen squirm," below if you've seen a bully sweat. Will our oak stand tall, or will Victoria's last trick burn us? Grab your boots, this Lone Star Showdown's about to shake her empire like a rattlesnake in a sack. We're not walking into the HOA meeting alone. Daniel Foster, our law professor ally, Sheriff's Officer Tiffany Wells, and journalist Mark Reynolds are our posse, ready to expose Victoria's pinnacle development scam. The clubhouse is packed, neighbors buzzing like a hive, and FBI agent Sarah Mitchell's in the back, her badge gleaming like a warning shot. Victoria's agenda screams desperation, an eviction vote to save the neighborhood from our dangerous, as if Tyler's treehouse dreams are a public menace. Karen's so arrogant she's been bullying board members into silence, even threatening Nancy Sullivan's job for hesitating on her forged logs. Her castle of lies is wobbling, but she struts in like a queen, unaware our evidence is a sword sharpened for her throne. Amanda's got covenants, financials, and footage. I'm itching to see Karen's face when we swing. Victoria's been emailing neighbors wild claims about our oak collapsing any day. Her panic like a fox in a henhouse, turning allies into skeptics. This ain't just a meeting, it's a reckoning. Meeting's electric as Amanda takes the floor, cool as a general, laying out Victoria's scam like a prosecutor. She shows fake arborist reports, claiming our oak's rotten, then Pinnacle's payments to Victoria. $50,000, 0 cents in consulting fees to force us out for rezoning. Ethan follows, voice steady, recounting the Parkers' story. Fines that sank a family, all for Karen's greed. Mark Reynolds drops his bombshell, an expose linking Victoria to Councilman Matthews set to hit the papers tomorrow. Nancy, trembling, admits forging violation logs under Victoria's screams, her confession sparking gasps. Neighbors erupt, shouting resign as Victoria's lies crumble like a sandcastle in a storm. Karen's so irrational she's been shredding HOA records in her garage, thinking she's untouchable, only to have Nancy save copies. Her face twists, a cornered queen losing her crown. But she's not done digging her grave. The crowd's ours, and justice feels sweeter than Texas barbecue. Victoria, flailing, pulls her last card, a legitimate court order to remove our oak, waving it like a magic wand. The judge's signature looks real, but it's based on her fake arborist report, a poisoned arrow aimed at our home. Amanda counters, slamming down Eleanor's 1960s covenants, proving our oak's a protected heritage treasure. The crowd cheers, but the order's legal weight hangs like a storm cloud. Victoria's been cozying up to a corrupt judge, her arrogance blinding her to the FBI's glare. Daniel calls for a no-confidence vote, his voice booming, and neighbors raise hands like a rebellion. Karen's meltdown is epic. She screams, "You'll regret this," at Tiffany, her threats alienating the last holdouts. her throne's wobbling, but that court orders a final jab, and we're not clear yet. And I'm thinking, Karen, you've just lit the fuse on your own dynamite. The vote's a landslide. Victorious ousted, her HOA reign shattered, but her court order looms like a vulture over our oak. We're prepping for a legal fight with Daniel's law books and Mark's expose as our ammo. Victoria's so self-destructive, she's been spotted yelling at her lawyer in her driveway, blaming everyone but herself, her empire stormed by the neighbors she bullied. Our partial victory feels like a 4th of July sparkle, but the oak's fate hangs on that judge's gavel. We're not just saving Tyler's treehouse, we're showing Karens everywhere that communities can fight back. Stay tuned, because this Texas battle's heading to court, and our oaks standing tall. Ever won against a Karen? Drop your story in the comments. Let's celebrate those takedowns. Victoria Hamilton's HOA crown got tossed in the dirt after her fake cop flop. But this Karen-in-chief thinks she can still chop our oak like it's kindling. I'm Ethan Blackwell, ex-Marine, with Amanda, a naval commander who'd outsmart a fox. Her forged court orders are last hurdle, and we're charging into court with evidence heavier than a Texas Longhorn. Victoria's crimes, fraud, conspiracy are bigger than a Lone Star oil field. And her arrogance is her own guillotine. She's so irrational. She's been harassing neighbors for disloyalty, oblivious to the noose tightening. Our oak's not just Tyler's treehouse dream. It's every homeowner's stand against tyranny. Comment "Justice served" below if you've seen a bully crash. Will our oak stand forever, or will Karen's last gasp hit us? Saddle up, this showdown's about to drop her empire like a meteor in a Texas dust storm. The courtroom's tense as a coiled rattler, with Judge Linda Harper presiding like a hawk. Victoria's lawyer Ryan Harrison slithers up, claiming our oak's a hazard that'll crush houses, waving that fake arborist report like a holy grail. Amanda's ready, her naval precision slicing through his lies. She presents Eleanor's 1,960 covenants, proving our oak's a protected heritage treasure, and debunks the report with a botanist's affidavit showing the trees solid as granite. Ryan deflates like a punctured balloon, his arguments thinner than a dollar store tarp. Walter Brooks, sweating under a plea deal, testifies Victoria paid him to forge documents, her emails barking orders like a deranged general. Karen's so arrogant she interrupts, shouting, "They're lying!" earning a gavel slam and juror glares. Her outburst is self-destructive, turning the courtroom against her. Judge Harper voids the court order, citing covenant law, and our oak stands tall. Amanda's evidence is a sledgehammer, and I'm thinking, Karen, you've just nailed your own coffin. Victoria's collapse is sweeter than pecan pie at a Texas fair. The feds slap her with felony charges, fraud, conspiracy, and witness tampering, after Walter's testimony and Nancy's leaked records expose her pinnacle development scam. The HOA bans her for life, and she's forced to sell her McMansion at a loss, neighbors cheering as her moving van peels out. Mark Reynolds' expose goes viral, tanking Councilman Matthews' re-election with screenshots of his consultant payouts from Victoria's dirty cash. Karen's so irrational she's been prank calling Daniel Foster at 3 a.m., ranting about revenge, only to accidentally leave voicemails that her lawyer begs to suppress. Her arrogance blinds her. She tried shredding evidence post-trial, not knowing the FBI had backups. The HOA, shamed, votes to pay me $5,000, 0 cents, yearly to maintain our oak, a nod to our fight. Victoria's fall is a meteor crater, and our treehouse dreams are safe, but the neighborhood's itching for a new chapter. Healing starts under our oak's shade, where neighbors gather to thank us, their gratitude warmer than a Texas summer. Daniel takes the HOA helm, vowing transparency, no more clipboard tyrants. He pushes a vote to designate our oak a heritage tree, cementing its protection for generations. Kids, including Tyler, play beneath its branches, their laughter a balm after Victoria's reign. Ethan pitches a community project, a bench, and plaque under the oak, honoring resilience. Neighbors nod, eager to rebuild trust. Victoria's self-destructive spiral helps. Her public meltdown at a gas station, yelling at a cashier for siding with the Blackwells, has folks shaking their heads. Her influence dust. The HOA is like a phoenix rising, with Nancy leading a truth and reconciliation meeting to air past grievances. Our oak's the heart of this rebirth, and I'm thinking, Karen's gone. But this tree's forever. Tyler's sketching his treehouse again, and hope's blooming like bluebonnets. Victoria's guillotine has fallen, but our oak's legacy is just sprouting. We're planning a neighborhood barbecue to celebrate, with Tyler's plaque idea front and center, a symbol of every underdog who's faced a Karen and won. The community's shift feels like a fresh breeze after a storm, and Daniel's HOA reforms promise a fairer future. Victoria's still digging her hole, rumor has it, sending unhinged letters to the judge from her new Florida condo, begging for leniency. Classic Karen, never learning. Our fight wasn't just for us, it's a beacon for anyone battling HOA nonsense. Stay tuned, because this Texas Tale's ending with a party bigger than a state fair. What's your community win story? Drop it in the comments. Let's toast to crushing tyrants and saving trees. Victoria Hamilton's Empire's dust hauled off to face felony charges, probably fining palm trees in a Florida jail cell by now. I'm Ethan Blackwell, ex-Marine, with Amanda, a naval commander who'd outwit a coyote. Our 100-year-old oak, Tyler's treehouse dream, stands tall as a heritage treasure, and Oak Ridge Estates is throwing a barbecue to celebrate. This ain't just a party, it's a beacon of hope, proving veterans and neighbors can topple tyrants. Victoria's so irrational she's posting unhinged rants on X, blaming us for her unfair downfall, digging her legal hole deeper. Tyler's got a surprise that'll tie this fight back to our first fine. Comment "Victory tastes sweet" below if you've got a win to share. What's our oak's lasting mark? Grab a cold one. This Texas Tale's ending bigger than a state fair, with a legacy stronger than a Longhorn's charge. The barbecue under her oak's sprawling branches feels like a family forged in battle, with neighbors grilling burgers, strumming guitars, and swapping stories of Victoria's reign like war tales. Kids chase fireflies, and Tyler's nature club, his idea sparked by the oak fight, meets here, sketching birds and dreaming up trails. Folks like Nancy Sullivan share relief, her voice cracking as she admits forging logs under Karen's screams, now free to laugh again. The air's thick with joy like a Texas summer reborn. Victoria's arrogance keeps backfiring. She's been harassing her new Florida neighbors, demanding they respect her HOA expertise, only to get laughed off their block. Her self-destructive X posts calling Oak Ridge a nest of traitors have her lawyer begging her to stop, but Karen's too proud to quit. Our oak's an anchor holding us together, and I'm thinking, this is what winning feels like, community, not clipboard tyranny. Tyler steals the show, his 10-year-old courage shining brighter than a hill country sunset. He steps up, holding a plaque he designed, Heritage Oak, symbol of resilience. His voice wobbles but holds as he reads, dedicating it to everyone who fought Victoria's fines, from that first grass-length jab to her felony crash. I choke up, picturing the $50.00 fine that sparked this miracle. Our oak's now a monument to grit. Amanda, eyes glistening, praises Tyler's bravery, tying it to our Marine and naval roots. You stood tall like we did. Neighbors clap, some tearing up as Tyler nails the plaque to a post under the tree. Victoria's so irrational she's filed a futile appeal from Florida, claiming the oaks cursed her life. A delusion that's got her new HOA eyeing restraining orders. This plaque's our trophy, and Tyler's moment seals our fight's heart, proving one kid's dream can outlast a Karen's empire. The oak's legacy is locked in, its roots are strength for years to come. The HOA, under Daniel's steady hand, funds preservation, $10,000 0 yearly for care, and a veteran scholarship in our name honoring our service in this battle. Neighbors volunteer to prune and mulch, ensuring the oak's future, their hands dirty but spirits high. Ethan dreams bigger, a community garden, maybe a gazebo, all under these branches, inspired by our stand. Victoria's self-destructive streak shines. She's been banned from X for harassing Mark Reynolds online, her rants screenshot as evidence in her upcoming fraud trial. Oak Ridge feels like a reborn town, with Nancy leading workshops on HOA rights, empowering folks to never bow to Karens again. Tyler's nature club grows, kids planning a butterfly patch. And I'm thinking, this oak's more than a tree. It's our promise to keep fighting for what's right. We toast the oak's forever legacy at dusk, glasses raised under its canopy, fireflies dancing like stars. I thank neighbors, veterans, and Tyler, whose sketches started it all, our fight a lighthouse for anyone facing a Karen. Daniel unveils plans for more projects, cementing Oak Ridge's new heart. Victoria is still flailing, rumor has it, sending cease and desist letters to her Florida HOA, claiming they stole her authority. Classic Karen, sinking her own ship. This party's bigger than Texas. A victory for every underdog who's stared down a bully. Share your HOA win in the comments. Let's keep Karens running. Here's to a united future with no tyrants, just neighbors under our oak. This Texas tale's done, but its roots run deep. Stay strong and keep those Karens far from your yard. Leave a comment below to let us know where you are watching from, and if you like fascinating stories like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because tomorrow we have another incredible story, and there are many surprises waiting for you in the next parts.